Hey guys, welcome. My name is MagdalineJanet. If you are new, welcome to the familia. So guys, I am so excited because I'm testing out this brand new Makeup Revolution concealer. As you guys know, I love testing out concealer for you guys because you guys know we have dark, dry, sunken in under eyes, and I'm always looking for a solid concealer that won't break the bank, you know? So if you're interested in seeing how all goes down using this Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Concealer for 2 whole days on these dry, dark under eyes, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn your notifications on because I'm always here. And don't forget to follow me on my socials because I'm always there too. And without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, so let's start. I have my foundation on. I always skip the under eye area anytime I wear concealer. Well, anytime I put foundation on because I have creasy under eyes. They're dark. You guys can kind of see, and the less product there, the better. This is how the concealer looks. It's a pretty big little contraption here. I got mine at Ulta. I went to an Ulta store and they happen to have it. So let's open it up. I tried Makeup Revolution's concealer. You know that one that was supposed to be Tarte Shape Tape's dupe? And I did not like it. And I really haven't tried the brand since. So I wanted to try this out for you guys and see how it works out. So let's open her up. It comes with this little spongy thingy. It's cute. It is kind of big. So let's see. Here, let's shake her. I shake everything. Let's see. Filming, right? Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. You see like the products coming through? Okay. I just tapped it up against my hand. All right. So you guys know we're going to apply it 2 different ways. On the left side, which is your right, we're going to use the sponge. And on the right side, which is your left, oh my God, a brush. And then the right side, which is your left, is the sponge. Per the usual, guys, as I apply and blend out the concealer, I'm gonna give you all the info about the product. The brand new Makeup Revolution Eye Bright Concealer retails for $10 at Ulta. It comes in 8 shades. This is a eye bright concealer that has specifically been formulated to target under eye circles, offering a flexible, buildable coverage with a max level hit of vitamin C to actively treat the area as you conceal. Featuring this fluffy, flocked sponge applicator, this brightening concealer can be used to conceal blemishes, redness, seemingly erase under eye bags for an instantly brightened effect. The smooth, creamy formula blends beautifully for an undetectable finish, no touch-up required. And I am in the shade medium. All right, guys, wow. You see this coverage? Whew. The shade, it's medium, but it has like a pink undertone, and pink undertones usually do a little bit of color correcting, which is perfect for us when we have dark under eyes because you see now they look, they disappeared. The formula is very thin. I put a lot because I saw that it was a little on the transparent side when I placed it on. I let it sit for about a minute or so to let it dry down and give us a bit of a thicker, fuller coverage, and wow, it did. It moved beautifully. It's a very movable product. It's a pretty wet product also. I do see creasing. You see right here. But that pretty much always happens depending on the type of concealer it is. There are very few concealers that when you place it on, they kind of dry down and they don't give you the creases, but because this one is a wet formula, it's most likely going to crease, which is totally okay. Issue becomes if it creases when you already set it down, you know? Talking about setting, we're gonna use the Too Faced Born This Way powder. I only use powders that I truly trust and I know it's gonna work when I do first impressions because girl, the powder really matters and counts when you're setting your concealer. You can have a great concealer, but if you set it down with a bad powder, it's gonna make everything like fall apart because you can have setting powders that weigh your under eyes down, which are very heavy powders, or it can just be powders that just crease. So I wanna show you guys how I set. On the left side, we're gonna continue with the brush. This method I used to always do. Saturate our brush. Our brush is clean. Make sure you use clean brushes. I always try to just clean my brushes after I use them, especially complexion brushes. And we're gonna get a good amount, but still tap it down. We're gonna get the brush we use because we do have creases. You don't wanna set the creases down, so you wanna still get rid of them. And I'm doing tapping motions. Always do tapping motions. It's gonna keep the liquid product there and not move it. Okay, still while looking up, we're gonna set and pat this down. I usually pat down for a good 20 seconds. Gotta be gentle. I'm pretty heavy-handed, so we're gonna ignore that right now. I don't really bake. I'm not a big baker when it comes to especially under eyes. I'm gonna get my sponge and just kind of tap it down, work it in, but that was it. I don't bake my under eyes because they're dry and they're creasy, so I just don't put a lot of product there. And now we're gonna get this powder puff. I get these from Amazon. I'm gonna get my powder. You see, we're gonna still remove some off. Again, we don't want a shit ton of product anywhere, especially under eyes. So we're gonna get rid of these creases. This eye really creased. Always looking up. And then set again, looking up, and again for like the 20 seconds. And when it comes to concealers, guys, I'm very, 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 very picky because concealers was one of the first products I used growing up, and I've always had dark under eyes. It's a hereditary thing and they don't go away, you know. I've just learned how to work with it, and concealers are really, it could be your best friend, you know. I think it looks good. It looks flawless. The only thing is that I just noticed as I was setting it down, because the formula is thin, it's very thin. It got in the fine lines even after I like reset it. So I would suggest to work with one eye first, really work quickly because it's so thin, it could dry down very quickly. And once it dries down, it could just stick on to your creases. We don't see that line that I usually have. Usually this form of setting, which is my preferred method, the powder puff really gets rid of that little dent. I'm very surprised how well the coverage is and how it looks, you know, completed. It is 11 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm really late, but we're gonna do an all-day wear test and all that jazz, so I'm just gonna put the rest of my face and be back. Hey guys, I'm back, full face and everything. I didn't touch the under eye area. I just, you know, put a little bit of bronzer, blush, all that jazz. And guys, let's look at the under eyes. This is the sponge side. This is the brush side. I feel like the last 30 minutes that we've had it on, it's just warmed up to the skin nicely. I don't see it creasing. I don't see it getting weird. Sometimes it can get creasy, it can get dry, it could start getting flaky, but it looks pretty freaking good. And the coverage, you see that? This could be a good one, but you know, we're gonna be here 2 days. I'm gonna jump in front of the window because concealer can look very, very good in studio lighting, but it can completely fall apart in daylight. So I always like to give you those options so we can really see the real deal, you know? I don't know why concealer is like that, but concealer specifically, there's a major difference in sunlight, you know? So I'll see you in the window and the next check-in. Bye. All right, guys, just wanna show you in daylight how the concealer looks. Here is the sponge side. Here is the brush side. In daylight, I feel like the brush side is giving us a bit of a fuller coverage as opposed to the brush, but it's totally fine. I feel like they both look pretty good. But this is brush, this is sponge. Not too shabby, huh? Hey guys, I am back. So it is 11 o'clock in the evening. I've had the concealer on for now about 12 hours. And I want to show you guys here in sunlight how the concealer was looking at around 4:30 or 5. And it was looking pretty good. For the most part, once you set your concealer, it shouldn't move because your under eye area doesn't have pores. So it was looking pretty good. And now we are here about 12 hours later, and we look pretty good. I think the coverage is still there. Nothing really moved except for creasing. I have a bunch of creasing in the under eye. You can't really see it if like you're looking straight ahead, but if you're like really looking like I'm right now with the mirror, you can really see the creases. Concealer should not crease once it's set. Usually that is caused because the concealer just is a creasy concealer or it's just getting into the fine lines. And this is what this concealer did from the very beginning. So I'm not surprised that we have a lot of creases. It's also been 12 hours. Concealer, I'm a little bit strict because it should stay put. It shouldn't really be moving around. Granted, your eyes are always like open and you're blinking and whatnot. Even 12 hours later, it still looks good. Something about the concealer that I find is the brush side is creasing a lot less than the sponge side. The creases are just like right close to where the lash line is, and with the sponge they're coming down a bit lower. So that's the only difference I see with application. I mean, it's not an only difference, it's a pretty big difference. So today I feel like the left side, the brush side won, but we'll see tomorrow. Still not convinced about the concealer, but it did hold on pretty well, you know? So this is it for day 1, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, I am back for day number 2 trying out the concealer. So I forgot to mention yesterday, I always put eye cream on anytime I wear makeup, especially eye makeup. And the eye cream I use is the 1212 Gateway cream. It's like a creamy consistency, but it works perfect and it hydrates so well. And under makeup, it's bomb too. That's always like a big deal when it comes to concealer. If you have a very creamy eye cream, it can clash, and that one has like the perfect texture. We are going to blend out the concealer with our brush over here, and we're gonna work with one eye at a time because we did see how like it really dried down quickly and it got into like the lines. So I'm gonna get some of my setting powder, my COLLAB setting powder. I didn't tell you guys which one it is. It's a really good setting powder. We're going to get our powder puff ready. I just twisted it a little, and you guys can see how dark my under eyes look today. So we're gonna add, really work it in. And I try to work in small amounts because the more concealer you have, the more likely it's gonna get into the fine lines and get all weird. I'm gonna let this dry down so we build that full coverage, and then I'll be back, guys. So like we did yesterday, I usually work the under eye area last. So I'm just gonna tap everything else in. You don't have to put concealer all over the face like I do, but I feel like it just makes the entire makeup look a little cohesive as opposed to having bright under eyes and then nothing else is a little bit highlighted. I don't like to be highlighted like a lot. It's just too much for me. So I'm just blending this out, doing tapping motions, trying to be gentle. Blending out beautifully like freaking butter. And before it starts setting into our lines, we're gonna get our powder puff, go back in, and then without looking down, you wanna start setting it with our powder puff. We have very little amount of setting powder. You just wanna tap this without dipping back into your setting powder. Whew, wow, look at this difference. Whoa. I never do like a side by side. I know my under eyes are really bad, but whew, you can really see it, huh? And the coverage, I am completely shocked. The side by side is crazy, but okay, let's go back in. Let's cover these bad boys back up and doing the same thing. So I'm just letting it kind of sit maybe for about 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna start blending and doing the whole process. I'm starting to blend, and you also always want to get like the inside here, especially if you don't have makeup. I have a very simple eye look today, and it really helps because you get really dark in there, especially if you have darker under eyes. I'm not seeing those like creases I was telling you yesterday, like where it was deep in the under eye area. So I really like this today. It looks really good. The brush will always give you a fuller coverage in the area, but it's not full where it's like weighing down the under eye area. It's noon right now, so you guys know I'm gonna do a wear test and all that jazz. So I'm just gonna put the rest of my face on and I'm back. So whew. Let me know if you guys want me to do like the side-by-side comparison. I think it's a really good visual for you guys to see how good a concealer is or not, or really how well it, not necessarily good, but how well it covers under eyes, especially, you know, these right here, since we have dark sunken in, and I feel like today they look really bad, but it's cool. So far, let's take another look, guys. And oh, I see creasing, hold on. Yeah, that's the thing. We're getting like the same thing twice in which, ow, I just poked my eye, that we're creasing a lot. And I think it's just a creasy concealer. Sometimes when you squint like this, you can get like creases and it works. So let me just squint. It's mainly this eye. Coverage is good, texture is nice, shade is beautiful. The only thing is that we're creasing a lot. For me, that's problematic because I have very creasy under eyes. If you don't have creasy under eyes and you only look more for coverage, I think it's a good concealer. We're gonna jump in front of the window really quick so I can show you guys how it looks on day 2. Guys, so just want to show you guys how the concealer looks, and it looks pretty good. I think the coverage, you can see it a little bit differently in front of daylight. It's not as like bam how it is in studio lighting, but it's still pretty good. This is the good eye. This eye is the one that's struggling right now. Okay, see you later. Hey guys, I am back. So it is 10 o'clock in the evening, and this is how the concealer looks. Let me look up. And looking at it directly, I feel like this left eye is still looking a little bit better than this right eye. This one still has the same creases. Overall thoughts. I think it has great coverage. I really like the texture. I love how it moves. I like that it's very lightweight, and it covers and conceals the under eye area. That's kind of like a dream, because usually really good concealers do have like that thicker, creamy texture. But what I don't like is how much it creases. Like, it creases so much. I think it has a lot to do with the formula, because the formula is extremely thin, and there's also 8 shades in this line, and that's just not enough. These brands need more shades, and 8 shades I don't think will cut it. That has a lot to do with my decision, because a lot of people are not able to use the product. But overall, I liked it. I think it's good. I will finish this bottle or tube, but I probably won't buy it again, because there's a lot of other concealers out there that work the same way, have a bunch of shade ranges, are about the same drugstore price. You know, I do really count on how much it creases throughout the day and how we look at the 10-12 hour mark. I still think we should look good, and I feel like we lost a little bit of coverage here. It is 10 hours though, so I'm just gonna point that out. But these creases I've had since the beginning. But yeah guys, I think this is it. I hope you enjoyed these 2 days reviewing this Makeup Forever concealer. Let me know your thoughts on this concealer. Have you seen it around? Are you gonna pick it up? What are your thoughts? And I hope you enjoyed this review and hanging out with me for these 2 whole days. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and please don't forget to like, subscribe. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.